Hi and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. Today we're going to be talking about the full moon in Pisces. And this full moon is happening on either the 1st or the 2nd of September, depending on where you are in the world, at 10 degrees of Pisces. This is going to be a really interesting full moon. Very, very dynamic, lots of intense energies. We have this beautiful water energy with Pisces. The moon is very at home and very in its element within the sign of Pisces, right? The moon represents our emotions and our intuition. It also represents the soul in many ways. And Pisces is all about that, right? Pisces is a water sign. It's very dreamy. It's very idealistic. Pisces energy is highly intuitive, highly spiritual. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. And so we are also going to be looking at what Neptune is up to during this moon. And we're going to be looking at what Mars is up to as well, because we have a really dynamic, supercharged alignment going on. We have Mars conjunct True Black Moon, conjunct Black Moon Lilith, conjunct Eris, all in the sign of Aries. And this conjunction is happening as the focal point of a T-square between Venus and Saturn and Pluto. All right, we've had that Venus opposition Saturn and Pluto energy going on all last week. And now we're adding into that this incredibly dynamic conjunction with Mars. And so there's no way to talk about this full moon without talking about those energies, because they are so incredibly intense. All that fire energy, all that Aries energy, that empowerment energy, that warrior energy, right? Being mixed in with this highly intuitive, sensitive energy of Pisces. So it's a lot. It's a lot. This is going to be an energy that I'm really feeling as like a breakdown or a breakthrough, depending on what we do and how we utilize this energy. And we definitely have a lot of aspects that are pushing for that breakthrough, right? And for a lot of us, that breakthrough might come as a result of a breakdown. These energies have been building and building throughout the week, throughout the last few weeks, really. And they're reaching a crescendo during this full moon. So let's talk a little bit first about what's going on with the sun and the moon. Whenever we have a full moon, we have the sun opposing the moon. So we have the sun in Virgo opposing the moon in Pisces. And so this is that energy that we've been feeling throughout all of 2020 that we've been working with, right? That balancing of the logic and the intuition. Virgo is a highly intuitive sign, but it's also a highly logical and analytical sign. And so we're balancing that out with this dreamy Piscean energy, right? And we're trying to find, like, how can we utilize our logic and our intuition at the same time and blend those together? And we are getting some help from Uranus with this. Uranus is making a trine to the sun and a sextile to the moon during this full moon. So this is really interesting, and this is what some astrologers call a mystic triangle. So it's some really potent, really magical energy that we have going on here. Uranus is bringing in sort of really facilitating that breakthrough energy, really facilitating and allowing us to look at things from a different perspective. When we have the moon in Pisces, we're being asked to really look at things from that higher perspective, right? Pisces is the sign of the collective consciousness. And so we're really feeling that and delving deep into that. So this may be a full moon where a lot of people are also picking up on collective energies. So you want to be really careful to shield yourselves as well. And because this is a water moon, like utilizing water as well as a cleansing tool could be really helpful as well, whether that's taking a salt bath, going out actually into nature. It is getting a little cooler here on the East Coast. It depends on where you are, but there is still plenty of nature available if we want to sort of take a dip in those waters in the literal sense and just release into the water, allow that to wash away some of our concerns. I'm picking up and I'm getting up the energy of scrying right now as well. So some people, like, that may even be something where you look in the surface of water or a crystal, or some people use a mirror. There's all different ways that you can do it. You can look it up, but in order to kind of intuit and get these hits of intuition. So I don't know where that came from, but if there's somebody who's been intrigued by that, this is a great night to try that out, I guess. But yes, our intuition is going to be heightened, and we're going to be looking at This is all of this energy together is giving us a really great chance to view situations from a different perspective. And so we have, with the energies going on, we're really looking especially like at having these breakthroughs where relationships are concerned, where money is concerned, where our creativity, our life purpose, our finances, our health. I think I said finances twice, so that may be a big one for a lot of people. All of these, so many of these different things and these different aspects that we're going to be looking at and having these breakthroughs around during this full moon. Our sense of empowerment is huge. And so we talked about this, or I mentioned this briefly when we talked about this conjunction between Mars, Eris. And so Mars is the planet that represents our masculine energy, right? Our will, our ambition, our drive, our stamina, our sexuality in its rawest form, right? Eris is the planet, or the dwarf planet, whatever you want to call it, that was recently discovered, that represents the feminine warrior energy. And then we have Black Moon Lilith. We have both versions. So I typically go by the true black moon. There's also what's considered a mean black moon. And so because the Black Moon Lilith, her orbit is so crazy, there's different ways to figure out where she is at different times, is basically like the simplest way to put it. And so people utilize different aspects of her to track her. Both of these aspects, which represent the repressed and the wild feminine, are conjunct each other and Eris and Mars. So this energy is activating our inner warrior, activating the warrior which within each and every single one of us, especially when it comes to the feminine, when it comes to the feminine stepping into her power, but really all of us, because we all have a masculine and a feminine side, right? So all of us really stepping into our empowerment, finding our voice, finding our courage, right? Our strength, our charisma, I'm wanting to say. And so this energy is so dynamic, and this can be experienced in a lot of ways, especially when it's squaring both Venus and Saturn and Pluto. This energy may be explosive for some people, especially where male and female relations are concerned. Any shadow material that's been coming out around that is going to really boil and bubble over, quite possibly, during this full moon. There may be anything within those dynamics, those relationship dynamics, especially where the masculine and the feminine, our gender roles, all of that different stuff, our relationships, the way we relate to each other, the deep wounds that have been created throughout the eons of history that we're in the process of healing around the masculine and the feminine and how they view and how they relate to each other. A lot of that stuff could come up. A lot of people being called to step into their power. We have this opposition between Venus, Saturn, and Pluto that's really been bringing out our shadow material and our beliefs, all of our misguided belief systems and all of this stuff when it comes to all the things that Venus represents, which I just went over: the relationships, the finances, the self-worth, creativity, all of this different stuff, right? And so we're really going to be feeling pushed to stand our ground in situations and to fight for what it is that we believe in. And especially where things are concerned, where aspects of our nature have felt repressed, especially where the feminine aspects of our nature have felt repressed. And this could come out in all kinds of different ways. So like I said, we want to tread carefully. We want to understand that everybody is going through this and really look at what's coming up and try to utilize some of that energy that we're receiving from this trine and the sextile with Uranus, as far as the sun and the moon are concerned, and this energy. We also have Mercury in an opposition to Neptune, and so this is a way that Neptune is sort of facilitating this process. And it's also Neptune's also very loosely conjunct the sun. It's facilitating this process of dissolving all those old belief systems, because Neptune is the great dissolver, right? Of really dissolving all of these thought patterns that aren't serving us anymore, Remember, we have Mercury in Virgo right now. So it's that super highly analytical, supercharged mental energy, right? So dissolving any of those old structures in our minds, dissolving and really stepping in. And it's going to make communication is going to be a bit interesting during this full moon. It really is. And so we want to bring our A game when we talk to people and just understand and really be willing to look at when we are triggered, like what's beneath that. Like we're being shown what's beneath that right now. And anywhere where we've had situations in our lives, especially where any of these matters have been concerned, we're getting that opportunity to really see that from a different perspective. So we're really being challenged to step out of all of our old belief patterns, all of our old wounding, and to look at situations from another person's perspective, from that higher collective perspective, right? That Pisces and Neptune represent, and to really see things through that lens. I'm just looking over this a little bit to see if there's anything else. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Those are the important energies to look at, and I think that those are some pretty intense energies. So we could experience this full moon in a whole lot of different ways, depending on where we are with all the work that we've been asked to do by Venus and Jupiter on Saturn and Pluto, especially this past week, like where that has led us. And we're going to really, if there's been those areas where we've been looking for that breakthrough, that understanding, that shift in perspective, and we haven't been able to attain it yet, this is definitely an energy and a moon that is bringing us and calling us toward that, and is going to very likely facilitate that for us. And so we're going to pull a couple Black Moon astrology cards and see what other guidance, what other advice, just whatever else comes out as far as this is concerned. Full moon in Pisces. Let's talk about this. Full moon in Pisces. Energies for the full moon in Pisces. So we have Leo, I will, as the first card out. So this is all about our willpower. This is about us standing in our truth, being who we are, fully showing who we are to the world. Like that Leo energy is that charismatic energy, that all life is a stage kind of energy, right? And really being called to step out into center stage and own who we are. And it's all about that. Like we have the second house coming out, owning. This is the house, like we were talking about, that deals with finances, this is the house ruled by Taurus. So it deals with all of those worldly possessions and all of the outer manifestations in our lives, right? And so this is like our drive and our need to create an outer world that is in harmony with our true desires, that exemplifies who we are, really wanting to show who we are, to showcase who we are to the world. That's a big energy right now, and this is a very successful energy. These two cards coming out together indicate great success in life, great ambition and great success, especially for those in the limelight in any type of way. So if you've been thinking about putting yourself out there in some way, use this surge of empowerment that we're feeling right now to really catapult you into that, to really, like, we're being asked to have confidence right now, we're being asked to really believe in our dreams and to start taking the steps to make those dreams a reality. We've been working through all those blocks and all that shadow material that's been in the way of achieving that, and now we're being asked to step into that and to really, I'm hearing like put our money where our mouth is. Like, live the ideals that we set out for ourselves and know that absolutely anything is possible right now. And if you're struggling with overcoming limiting beliefs, with some of the shadow material that's coming up, you're trying to work through that, you're trying to sift through that, make sense of that, release that, reach out to me. I offer personal readings. I also offer energy healings, which can be so helpful when it comes to this stuff. I do a combination where we do a reading followed by a healing, where we address some of the things that came up during the reading. And I've seen people have major breakthroughs with that. So please reach out to me if you're interested. But this is the energy of fortune and fame coming out right here. So I'm really loving that, especially for those who are looking to pursue something that has substance and meaning for them, that involves their creativity, expressing their creativity, anything artistic, anything that puts them in the spotlight. Like, you are very much being encouraged and shown that, like, there are great financial gains to be made. But sometimes that doesn't happen without risk. Like, we have to be willing to take the risk. No guts, no glory. That's the kind of energy that I'm feeling right now. And for those who have the guts, the glory is sure to come. So that is really beautiful energy. It's that beautiful heart energy too. Like, Leo is led by the heart. And so really letting your heart guide you and knowing that your heart is not going to steer you wrong. And then we have Virgo, I analyze. So this is the energy, right? This is the other, a main energy that we're dealing with right now. And we can utilize this energy as we're moving forward confidently on this path to really, like, this is fine-tuning our results, right? This is the refinement process, the creative refinement process. So this is like taking care of all the details, right? Like, how am I going to organize my life? What are the skills and the habits that I need to develop that are going to help me to be successful? This is also really wanting us to take care of our health during this process, to really be cognizant of that and to factor that into the equation as well. But this is that energy of purification, of like this process of stepping forward and really going after what it is that we want is going to like mold, like we're going to grow exponentially through this process. Let's get some more cards here. Water element, sensing. Yes. Our intuition. This is again, when we have this combination of energies here, this is what we're talking about. This is like that Piscean water energy, and this is the logical energy, right? And how the Virgo energy is very intuitive. So really stepping into that intuitive Virgo energy. That's what we're being called to do. Like, we're being called to do take all of those concrete steps toward what it is we want to do, but also to really utilize that intuitive aspect as we're moving forward, as we're navigating situations that come up, really drawing on that and the combination of those two and flowing between those two. And I'm just really drawn to the angel in this Virgo card right now. So I feel like for some of you, it's like you may be sensing an angelic presence around you, or you may be sensing that you have an angel looking out for you or watching over you. And this is confirmation for you that that's absolutely true. If that's something that you've been wondering, there is somebody who is trying to assist you and breaking through the logical mind and bringing you into this intuitive space where you know the answers and you know what to do and how it is that you're meant to move forward. That's the answer, or what I'm getting for that. And then we have the other fire element, right? The two main elements that we're dealing with in this full moon, the water and the fire. And so this is really interesting, right? Because if we have enough water, it puts out fire. But that's not happening for us right now, even though that is the way that these elements would typically play together. It's like we want just the right amount of each right now. We want that perfect amount of that feeling, that intuition, and also the perfect amount of that fire to keep us moving forward, to keep us engaged, to keep us encouraged. This is like this energy, right? That fire that's fueling us to reach greater heights than we've ever reached before. And on the bottom of the deck, Scorpio, I transform, which we are absolutely in the process of doing right now. So I want to pull a couple Moonology cards as well. I'm getting a lot better at showing you guys the decks that I'm using. Yes, let's pull a couple Moonology cards. Yes, these situations, these highly charged situations that are coming up are in the process of transforming us. Once again, this card keeps coming up. Conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. Like we are in, this is like we said, the culmination of energies right now. There are conclusions that are coming. If there have been situations that we felt kind of stuck in, right? That we felt sort of like we were trapped, like we didn't know when things were finally going to end. We've been trying to wrap things up. It just hasn't been happening. We feel like we've been chasing our tails. Like those conclusions are within reach and they are coming. Luck is on your side. A favorable outcome in your I was about to say a favorable outcome in your favor. Like you will, whatever this situation is, perhaps the reason that it's taken so long to conclude is because the most fortuitous outcome was being like arranged for you. So just know that and trust that. And then show the world the real you. Luck is on your side, but be who you truly are. Be authentic. Handle this situation with integrity. Like the Aquarius energy is all about authenticity, showing up authentically in all areas of our lives. And if you show up authentically, if you stand by your truth, if you stand in your power, and be open to, this card too means like Aquarius energy, that's that Uranus energy. And we have these positive aspects of Uranus going on with this full moon, which also can add an element of the unexpected and the unconventional. Like this is a full moon where absolutely anything could happen. It's a wild card. It really is. But this is, conclusions are within reach. A fortuitous outcome is foreseen and has been in the works. It may be very unconventional. Aquarius is that very unconventional energy. So there may be an unconventional solution or conclusion that has taken some time to kind of brew. Like all the pieces had to come together just right in order for this to happen. And you had to be willing and able to be completely 100% authentic. And then full moon in Libra, win-win outcome is forecast. This is like, I feel like someone's been really worrying about something, possibly even losing sleep about something. And whatever it is that you've been worrying about, and this is like, this keeps coming up. So this is like somebody who watches this channel is really stressed out about something. And this is just like Spirit keeps telling you over and over. Maybe it's because you haven't watched all the videos that I've been putting out lately. Maybe it's just because you need the confirmation every time. Maybe a whole bunch of us do. But everything's going to be okay. This is like everybody is going to win, right? In this situation, even if it seems impossible right now to understand how that is possible, all possibilities are possible, right? Believe in the impossible. The impossible, there is no such thing, right? That's why we say all possibilities are possible. It's just, yeah. Just keep being more and more of who you truly are. Do not dim that down for anyone. For anyone. And if you do this, you have like all of the fate is on your side. Like you are destined. Whatever you are meant for and destined for will find you, as long as you're able to stand in your true authenticity, your true power, and your true energy. And then we have expect powerful change, new moon eclipse, and you are good enough, full moon in Virgo. So this is those issues of self-worth that we were talking about. And as we're navigating our relationships, right, we come to realize more and more that at the end of the day, all it boils down to is self-love and self-worth. And so knowing that you are enough, that you do enough, that you, just by existing, you are enough, right? That is just, that's so important. It's like loving and being gentle with ourselves. This Virgo energy, sometimes like Virgo can be very hard on themselves. Virgo can be critical of others, but nowhere near as critical as Virgo is of themselves. And it's just because they want the best for everybody, right? And Virgo also wants the best for themselves, but we see Virgo energy sees every single flaw, right? So don't focus on your flaws. Focus on the things that you do well. Be willing to work on those flaws and continue to grow and evolve, but don't judge yourself by those, and don't spend too much time focusing on that right now. Allow this, show the world the real you. Allow the beauty that exists within you to blossom inside of you and out of you as well, and really focus on that, and focus on the beauty in everyone else as well. So I think this is really important, especially where some of these situations are concerned. People, like, we cannot control anybody else, right? However, the energy that we put out toward a person to a degree can also influence the way that they behave toward us. And so it can be really helpful to visualize everyone in their the highest expression of themselves. If there's a situation that you're having with a person and you're really not making any headway with them, try to visualize them. This doesn't mean fool yourself into thinking that they're something that they're not, okay? We're not doing that. We're not doing that. However, visualize them, like try to understand that they're going to behave the way that they're going to behave, but also don't automatically put all those super negative expectations onto them and constantly be thinking negative energy in their direction, because that they're picking up on that energy and they're going to show you the energy that you're putting out toward them. So this doesn't always work, but it can be helpful to try to visualize everyone in the highest expression of themselves. That doesn't mean that we stumble through life blindly, just with this sweet notion and naive notion that everyone's going to behave in their best light just because we're envisioning them that way. But it can help to shift energies a little bit. And it also can help to call their higher self into a conversation. Utilize this energy to try to have a conversation with their higher self and ask for the highest possible solution. That's what is being worked on right now. The highest possible solution and outcome to whatever it is that you are wanting to conclude and move beyond. For a lot of you guys, this is like a major karmic cycle. And if you remain in your integrity, if you remain true to who you are, if you operate from that place of love, things are going to work out. Things are going to work out. But there's going to be a lot of changes involved, and a lot of changes that may not be anticipated. A lot of very unorthodox situations and changes that may sort of happen as a result. But that's absolutely beautiful, because that's the energy that we're moving into, right? That is the energy of the age of Aquarius. We are bulldozing all these old paradigms and creating, like, convention is outdated. It's done. We're creating a whole new society with whole new rules, right? And then a new romantic cycle popped out after that. So for some of you guys, if this has to do with a romantic cycle, you're closing this out, and something new and beautiful will take its place in the appropriate time. Have faith in your dreams. This card comes up all the time as well. So yeah. All right. I'm trying to think, what else do we want to do? I'm wanting to do one of these. So this is the Secret Language of Light deck. And we're going to pull a Secret Language of Light card as well and see what this has to say. Full moon in Pisces. Let's talk about this full moon in Pisces. Full moon in Pisces, what energies do we have? I know, I'm doing a terrible job of shuffling tonight, you guys. Don't worry. The cards that want to come out will come out when they want to come out. See? All right. Create space, number 38. So this is kind of one of the things that we were talking about, right? It's like, this is that process of releasing the old so that the new can come in. Like, if we want something new in our lives, we have to make the space for it to exist. And if the space doesn't exist, it's not going to come in. So that's one thing that is happening right now. We have all of these unpredictable events that are going on with the Uranus retrograde going on, with this full moon in general, and that Uranian energy. It's like a very positive aspects, but still it's Uranus. And so Uranus is, if we are not creating that space, Uranus is coming in to create that space for us in some situations. Ultimately, eventually it will. But part of the lesson for some of us is learning how to create that space for ourselves. And this is also creating that safe space for yourself. And for your own energy as well, is another thing that I'm picking up from that card. And then wellness. So this is focusing on our health in all aspects, right? This is Virgo season. Virgo rules the 6th house. We want to be aware of that. Wellness in all aspects of being. Create space in your life for wellness. If there's not space for that, how are you taking care of yourself? How are you taking exquisite care of yourself? Are you taking exquisite care of yourself? And if you're not, how can you? Create space for all this abundance by getting rid of all the things that are like kind of sucking your energy, right? All the things that are wasting your time. Just creating that space in whatever. This is like structures and routines too, creating those new structures and routines that are going to behoove you as far as your wellness is concerned. And this is wellness on all aspects of being, mental, emotional, spiritual. It's creating that space when it comes to our thought patterns, when it comes to our beliefs, like making space for new beliefs, new thought patterns, new relationships, new associations with things, right? All of that space. And then we have inward revolution and healing. And so this is that journey of going inward. This is also, if I recall, the journey of the spiral. And how healing happens and everything happens, and it's all circular, right? It's all a spiral. And so we complete one turn of the wheel, one revolution of the spiral, and then we go in for deeper healing and deeper healing and deeper healing. And so that's what we're doing right now, is we're in a deeper level of healing, which can feel really, really intense sometimes. And it's really interesting. I'm being drawn to the fact that it's like DNA helixes in this card, if you can see that. So this is also, when it comes to healing, this is more also what we were talking about. I forget which one of the daily readings that I just did, about this process of how we are healing on a cellular level right now as well. And so I feel like this full moon is bringing in a lot of deep healing when it comes to that. So it's really allowing us to heal on all levels of being. And we're having this full moon is happening right after the close of, we've had a week-long portal going on, according to the galactic calendar, right? And so this is kind of like the integration point of those energies from that portal. I'm just feeling that heavy activation energy. And as we receive this activation, we heal even more deeply, and we're releasing all that is not a match to our rising vibration again. And I want to actually read out of the book and see if there's anything else on this inward revolution. But it's like the revolution that's happening, and this is with all of those heavy hitting, that activation of our inner warrior, right? It's like that is happening internally first. Those activations happen internally, and then we express those externally. But we're really being asked to go inside right now. You are always moving forward, even when you feel like you are going backward. Your path may seem to go up and down or inward and outward. The spiral is a symbol of your soul journey. It represents the cyclical adventure into your heart center. You will continually revisit aspects of your life to bring you to deeper understanding. Difficulties and challenges can command a greater focus as they help to build bigger and better dreams and desires. Each cycle of life is an important stepping stone that expands into the next. Your life will only feel authentic when you come to your own conclusions. An inward revolution will open you to the wisdom of your soul. It is a path we must all take to truly know and love ourselves. From this place, we move outward, back into the world, empowered with our soul's wisdom. You are worthy of all you desire, no matter where you are in your spiral. Yeah, so this super deep level of healing that we are experiencing right now. And then we have channeling. And we have the Divine Feminine card. Right. And so this is a major activation. Like we said, we're activating our inner warrior. We're really empowering our Divine Feminine warrior energy. And that super, super, like, just supercharged energy that the feminine is receiving right now, as the feminine is coming into her full power and really being complemented by that masculine energy, right? We have all of these feminine warrior planets, right? In the sign of Aries, which is a masculine energy, conjunct Mars, which is a masculine energy. So it's a merging of that and an empowering of the feminine as she takes on those characteristics of the masculine and sort of merges and melds those together. And just this beautiful activation, this beautiful activation of that, really channeling our divine feminine energy, our divine warrior feminine energy, and understanding the different facets. It's like we're understanding these different facets of ourselves in both regards, right? Like the masculine energy is getting a major overhaul through the second half of 2020 with this Mars and Aries transit. But we also have just this divide. It's like as the masculine energy is like learning so much about itself and really stepping into his own empowerment, he's also learning about how to channel this feminine energy and how to utilize that to soften that out. Just like the feminine energy is learning how to channel that masculine energy and use that to strengthen her and help give her firmer boundaries and more resolve, right? So it's this merging of those aspects of ourselves. And just a lot of us, I think, are really opening up to as we're receiving these DNA upgrades and we're receiving these activations like we were just talking about, right? We're healing our divine feminine. We're also opening up our ability to channel energies. So we have during this period of time, like people's just this explosion of soul gifts being activated, right? These latent gifts and abilities being activated. And so a lot of people are going to begin to understand that they have the capabilities to do things that they may have not known that they were able to do before. And part of that is channeling different energies in whatever way, however that resonates, whatever that means to you. And so I want to read this card too, and this says, you have the ability to tune into different streams of consciousness to gain wise information for healing and expansion. Healing, right? Channeling shifts your awareness so you can stream information from various frequencies. It is just like tuning into a radio station. If the information doesn't agree with you, tune into something different. You can't expect to hear rock music on a classical music station. With practice, you will be able to tune into your soul transmissions easily. You have focused a part of your stream of consciousness upon the earth plane to experience life in new and varied ways. Your soul loves you so much. It is always transmitting this love and truth even when you have forgotten. And so this is sort of that, when we're talking about that, seeing things from a new perspective, right? And this opening up to those wider perspectives, these breakthroughs, these sort of like jolts of understanding as we have all of this Uranian energy pouring into, and all of this Piscean energy, and all of this is like our intuition is going to be supercharged. Our ability to channel information is going to be even stronger than normal. And so really like leaning into that and utilizing that. Okay. Alignment on the bottom of the deck. As we come into a deeper and deeper sense of alignment. And then I also want to pull a couple Work Your Light cards. Pisces full moon, work your light. How do we work our light? Some guidance, please, for the Pisces full moon. Pisces full moon. How do we work our light? Leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. This is from the beginning of the reading, right? Like daring to take that leap, calling upon that Leo energy, that lion-hearted resolve to do the things that we're being guided to do. You take we say this all the time, right? I take one step, spirit takes 10. But we have to take that first step. Take that first step, whatever it is. No, remember all of the supportive energies at the beginning of this reading. Like, you are so supported. If you take nothing else away from this reading tonight, take that away. You are so loved and so supported. And the whole universe is conspiring to catch you once you take that leap. It's just waiting for you to take that leap. And Imrama, where are you being called to journey to? For some of you guys, there's a trip you've been wanting to take. There's somewhere that you've been wanting to go to explore. There's somewhere that you're being called. So this is telling you to go where you're being called to go. Whatever that means, that's going to mean different things for different people. But wherever it is that you're being called to go, if it's possible for you to go there, go there. Anything else? Mirror. Who or what is triggering you? And so with those energies that we were talking about, a lot of people are going to be triggered. So it's really looking into what is triggering us and realizing that that's revealing an aspect of ourselves that's ready to be healed. An inner temple devotion. Tune into the portal of your heart. That's where everything is, right? Tune into that heart center. Let that heart center guide you. That's that water element, right? That beautiful Piscean energy is tune into that. Tune and tap into your heart. When people are triggering you, when situations are coming up that are mirroring back aspects that are wanting to be healed, that's when we tap into our heart. And we open ourselves up to that healing. If you guys need assistance with that, please reach out to me. I do Belvaspata, Angelic Healing of the Heart. It can be so helpful with this. But really tune into that. Like, your heart is the portal that connects you. The heart connects everything, right? It's the bridge between the lower chakras and the upper chakras. It's the gateway into the fifth dimension. It is absolutely everything. So turn into that and let your heart lead you. And open up to the healing. There's so much healing that is available if you are willing to accept it. And look at all of these, any of these situations that are coming up that are triggering you. Just be grateful for those, because those are showing you where you're ready to be healed so that you can move through that energy. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing, because that's what we want, right? We can't heal something if we don't know it doesn't exist. And then Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Yeah. So we do this healing. This healing, that work that we're doing right now, is laying the foundation for what's to come next. But we can't build a house on a shaky foundation. So first we have to really air all that stuff out. We have to get rid of all the stuff that we don't want, right? So that we can we can build on that firm foundation. And so that's what we're doing right now. And this is also communication for some of you guys, that like there is a divine plan. If there are situations that haven't quite come into fruition yet, if you've been working to manifest things and you just don't see how that is ever going to happen, or you're starting to lose faith in that process, just understand that you're laying the foundation for that right now. You're doing the work that needs to be done. Spirit is doing the work in the unseen realms that needs to be done. And it is all unfolding in perfect timing, whether you see it or not. This is like practice right now. This is an opportunity to really get firm in ourselves and what we want and who we are, to build, like we talked about, those structures, those routines that are going to support us as we move into this next leg of our journey. So know that like the work that you're doing right now is so important, and everything will manifest in perfect timing. It's just like there are things that need to happen in order for other things to happen. So just really trust in that and really know that. And let's see, one more card. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking, keep facing your true north. So just confirmation of that. You're already on the path, you're already doing the things, and you will continue to know what to do, and you will continue to be guided. It's just like leap. Taking those steps as those steps are shown to you, and trusting that the next step will be revealed when the time comes. And just stop overthinking. Like, this has been coming up a lot as well. This came up in the reading earlier today too, right? Like, we get those hits of inspiration, those sparks of insight, and then we question it and we try to overanalyze it, and that's where we trip ourselves up. So stop doing that. Stop doing that. Just take that leap. You know what you're being guided to do. Just do it. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. Just what we were talking about. So just allowing that process to occur. And yeah, I do want to do one of these. We're going to close with an Isis oracle, because I did want to pull one of those. What advice, what guidance do we have this Pisces full moon? What guidance do we have from Isis for the Pisces full moon? Guidance from Isis for the Pisces full moon. Enter the chamber of healing. Healing in the divine chamber of the Lady Isis. And I love how this doorway is like dark right here, right? It's like that, taking that dive into the unknown. Like just trusting in that healing process without knowing exactly how it's going to work out or what we're going to transform into at the end of that. Just trusting that what's going to happen is what's meant to happen. Like, you have to have a lot of faith and a lot of trust to walk through that doorway into the unknown, right? A spiritual gift of healing is coming to you now. Be open without expectation or preconceived notions, and allow the healing from the Lady Isis, Mistress of Magic, to help you find the best solution for any situation that does not appear to be as it should. Take your time and create space into which her magic and energy can flow now. Expect your miracle. If this isn't tying together everything from this reading, oh man, it's beautiful. This oracle comes to you as a messenger. Prepare for great changes because they are on their way now. When the divine Lady Isis offers you a healing gift of magic, it is something to accept as a gift of unconditional love with open arms. It will be offered without agenda, with the only intent being for your highest good and spiritual growth. It will not necessarily look or feel like you were expected, but you will realize in the unfoldment of the process or circumstance that it was a spiritual healing gift from the divine, even though you may not have immediately recognized it as such at the time. You will be able to recognize the healing by the experience of it and its effect, even before the complete resolution of the issue at hand. Conclusions are within reach. The experience will be that the issue is somehow lifted from you, and the effect will be that the issue seems genuinely out of your control and yet not out of control. Out of your control and yet not out of control. This is the way that the gift of healing can come to you. Time and sacred space to contemplate and reflect is extremely helpful to receive divine intervention as consciously, swiftly, and fully as possible. Sacred space can be a physical place that allows you to put your day-to-day activities and thoughts to one side and instead indulge in just being as you are in that moment. It might be a place in nature, your meditation place or healing room, or a sanctuary that you have where you can be alone for a time, or even a meditation group or healing circle. Sacred space allows you to simply be, to not have to think, sort things out, or analyze, but to open rest, allow inspiration or guidance to come as and when it chooses, and to allow for the mysteries of healing to occur. It is important when entering sacred space that we do not set an agenda or have specific expectations. We do not have to think anything more than I dedicate this space to the divine within. When not attempting to find solutions, but actually actively letting go mentally and emotionally, and allowing ourselves to go into a peaceful state, relaxed but not numb, we can often have guidance, inspiration, clarity, and knowing drop into our awareness. We don't need to actively seek these things. They can just happen when we create open space. Healing happens most powerfully when there is space, openness, and allowing. We let go for healing to flow. Time and sacred space will help you receive the inner adjustments that you need for the healing magic of the Lady Isis to be able to reach you with full boldness and genius. Boom. I don't think I really need to say anything else. I think that really wraps it up. And then we have healing the divine masculine on the bottom of the deck. So we got that divine feminine and that divine masculine healing going on right now, right? Create that space. This is a perfect energy with this. And I said I didn't have more to say, but of course I always do. It's a perfect energy with this Pisces full moon energy, right? Just allow yourself to drift into that space and allow those sparks of inspiration from Uranus. Uranus is the planet of divine intervention. Make space for that divine intervention. Make that time to get quiet, to set aside that logical mind, to set aside everything and just be and just breathe and just allow and see what comes through for you. There is so much healing available during this moon. I am so excited for all of us and the energies that we're about to experience. So, and we are experiencing, right? Because time is fluid. We're in this energy already. That's just the climax of it that we're coming up to in a couple days here. So I love you all very much. If you feel moved to donate to my channel, the link is below for that. I very much appreciate you and each and every one of you. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate your energy, you being here with me. Drop a comment if this resonated. I love to hear how things resonate, what's going on with you guys. Like, share, subscribe, all that beautiful stuff. Reach out to me if you would like a reading or a healing. I do Ascension transit charts as well, where we can look at the different planets transiting your chart and what that means for you in terms of your ascension process at this time. I love doing those. They're so much fun. I love every single one of you. I probably say that like 5,000 times at the end of these videos, but I really, really, really do. And I will talk to you all very soon. Happy full moon.